remember him calling me out.
Where'd Bill go? What happened to Bill?
Oh, he's having trouble with his phone. Good morning, everybody.
He'll be back.
We had Bill here, but he's having trouble with his phone, so
Good morning.
we may not have him.
Good morning.
But anyway, hopefully everybody's good. Steve's working today, so Jerry, I'll let Jerry do the chat rundown.
Thanks. Let's see who the first one was. There's Bill. John Dawson.
Phone ever so slowly so I don't lose my charging connection.
All right.
My
Good
iPhone-
morning, everybody. John Dawson, Grandpa Rails, Rob T-Man, Randy Randy Doman, Paul. I don't want to pronounce your last name. Schweidner. I don't know. Sorry. Jeff Thornton, Floyd Robbins, Gerald Stewart, Dave BNSF, Scott Baker, Ray Bertelstein, Nathan DeLay, Wade Way, Claude, or not Claude, I was going to say Claude. Mark Pruitt over there at CB&Q, Joe Rader, Almar, this thing keeps moving fast, Container Man, Jason Volk, is that how you pronounce your name? At Knucklehead Jack, John Benicki, and I think we are caught up. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, guys. No idea what
Good morning.
today, but
John
always find something.
Good morning. Hey, listen, Claude, Jeff Thornton, too. Claude's been getting emails from you guys that want to be on the show, and you got to get back to him and tell him when.
Yeah, I know I was talking to Brian Jones, and he wanted to be on, but I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. So,
just a reminder,
you know,
if you send an
I don't
email,
know. And then who else? Somebody else sent me an email.
yeah. If
Couple
you
of
sent
weeks ago.
one, send another one. Just a reminder, and let us know when you want to be on the show.
Bob Johnson. Bob, are you in the chat? I don't know if Bob's here. I didn't see his name.
That would be probably PK and W, Bob.
Yeah, he sent me one, and I said, "Yeah, we'd love to have you on. Let me know when you can come on." And
Yeah. Well, I'll remind you. So that's
but you know, hey, life goes on because I mean, I'm dealing with that. I was going to start video and taking the layout down, and come to find out Brenda detached part of her retina, and we've been doing doctors and all that fun stuff.
How did she do that?
We were at the golf course, but he said it wasn't golf that did it. I mean, she didn't have any trauma to her head or anything. She just all of a sudden she couldn't see out of that eye, and it was blood in her eye. So they cauterized that part of it already. Kudos to the two doctors that were both off the clock on Friday when she called, and they both saw her within a couple hours. So kudos to those guys. And she's having surgery Thursday, I think, and we'll know more after that. So anyway, he told her there wasn't anything going on. He didn't think there was anything going on that couldn't be surgically fixed at the worst. So, but you know, anytime it's your retina, they're kind of concerned because that's how you see. So right now she can't see out of her right eye, but you know, she's not hurting. She's not in pain or anything like that. It's just bugs her. So, and I sit on her right side, so her chair is here and my chair is here, and she can't see me, which is probably an advantage.
Yeah, it's an advantage.
But anyway, yeah. So I've been dealing with that. It's just that and my own stuff, physical stuff. The whole reason I'm doing something with that up there. So I will. Jeff says my audio sucks. Audio bad?
Yeah, you're
in and out.
You might turn it up just a touch. Where is the actual microphone associated with the Bluetooth? Is it in?
I would imagine it's in the
phone somewhere, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's probably
In the
in his
mean-
ears.
In the meantime, Bill, people
Yeah,
want to
it's up
know
here.
how's your house in Thailand?
Oh, house is fine. So where I'm at was far away, removed from the earthquake. It's like if you look at the map on Thailand, like here's Bangkok, Myanmar, where the earthquake happened. I'm way over here on the far eastern part of the country. So they didn't even feel it there. They're like everybody else. They're just watching what's going on the local television channels.
Well, good.
That's
Hopefully
good.
hopefully they'll get it cleaned up. And
Yeah,
I know I've got
Bangkok.
a lot of people over.
Yeah, Bangkok, Thailand in general. Yeah, there are some fatalities. You know, there's some damage the closer you get in Thailand to Myanmar, where the mountains are and where that long fault zone is that ruptured. But you know, for me, when I go back in a little over a week, airport's running just fine. I'm not anticipating any troubles for me to get back when I go back.
Well, good. I don't know. Does this sound any better? I turned it up a little bit.
I guess, you know.
It's hard to say until you talk for a long period of time. It seems to me like the first few words are always plenty loud, and then it kind of.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, I won't talk.
Yeah.
Or just talk loudly.
I'll pull a
Project.
Steve and just
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
at my
Project.
ears.
But then the microphone is like at your door, you know, instead of in front of you.
Okay. Well,
Talk to the audience, not to yourself.
well, that was all the news I had. I mean, I've been busy with that, so it's just been fun around here this week. So I've not gotten anything done today. Nothing that I planned on doing besides the layout got done either.
So it looks
Running
like
her all over the place because she can't drive.
it looks like Jerry's
Yes.
made some accomplishments on his railroad.
My layout, yeah, I did a little
Yeah.
layout update. Yeah.
Well, I missed that too. I got to go check my YouTube notifications.
How long
See that
before
either.
have you laid your first piece of track yet?
I put track down. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on your
Sitting there.
strategy or how you
Yeah.
do things. You put it down, move things around, look at it,
No,
or do you know exactly where it's going to go?
neither nor.
Neither.
Yeah.
So do you have a track plan in mind,
I
or
do.
are you literally just going flying by the
Like-
seat of your pants?
John 2618 helped me do a track plan, but I don't think it's going to work out because to me it looks bigger than my layout does. I don't know for sure. And
Well, one of the things that I was curious about, I didn't ask in the comments because I figured, you know, you'll get there eventually. But your staging yard that's coming in at a 90 degree,
yeah,
is that going to connect
yeah,
with what is the radius?
I don't know. Got to figure that out. I don't know. That's my
that
biggest.
looks to be like by default it would have to be, I mean, a bare minimum of 18, and that's kind of the no-no for standard gauge. Anything less than 18, and really even for my models at 18, that's a kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the biggest thing. It worked in any rail, but I don't. He used Flex Track as my curve.
Well, if it worked at a known radius,
I don't know what the radius was though.
that would be the thing to know before you go much further, is find out what the radius was in any rail.
Yeah.
And then double check that radius with your equipment before you get too certainly before you glue anything, would be my suggestion.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to glue anything. Let me
Ever.
see. You guys talk, and I'll see if I can get the track plan.
Yeah, bring it up. I'd like to see,
Track plan.
like Claude
Yeah,
is
if
saying.
it's
I haven't gotten
possible
much
to look
web
at, that'd be cool.
notifications either.
Well, I missed that, Bill. What'd you say?
Said I haven't been getting any YouTube notifications either on stuff that I'm subscribed to. So I'm gonna have to check mine. Maybe they did an update.
They probably did, and it probably.
Do you have the little bell? Because you can be subscribed to somebody and not get updates of what they've done.
Yeah. I think I'm subscribed to like about 1,000 people.
Yeah, me too.
So, but I have.
Oh, yeah.
Certain ones.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Well, I got a question for you, Jerry, because I can't use any rail because I'm on a Apple, and they don't have a version for Apple for some reason.
Right.
I'm assuming it does because I know Empire Express uses, if you use FlexTrack, you can go in and set a minimum radius, and it won't go any tighter than that
Right.
when you set your FlexTrack in. I'm assuming any rail does the same thing.
It'd have to.
Surely they do. Yeah, surely they do, because that'd be too hard to do it otherwise. I would think.
So I'm sure it does, but the problem
And
is
John's pretty
use it.
savvy.
No,
I
yeah.
can't imagine that
I
he
don't-
would have
yeah,
picked a radius that is not usable, right?
no, definitely.
Yeah, what kind of equipment are you planning on using on that, Jerry? Like small locomotives, small switchers, small steam, or bigger?
All 4-axle locomotives. What do you call it? Cars will be 60-footers. I have one 72-foot center beam. That's about it.
Yeah.
It all depends on what you're running on it. I mean, that's why I stayed. I had 25-inch radius on the standard gauge, but I went with the short 65-foot cars on the passenger cars because they look so much better than the 85s. Just look really stupid on there.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see that? This.
Oh, okay. I completely misunderstood what I was looking at. That makes a lot more sense. That I was thinking you were like another with the, I forget what you were calling it, your staging yard. It looked to me like it was much closer than that, and like 3 foot further to the right. I was having a hard time understanding that. That looks fine.
So that makes sense to you?
Yeah. I wasn't visioning that with what I saw in the video, which was again one of the reasons why I didn't say anything, because I thought, well,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, it's hard to see it because you're looking at it straight on instead of from above like you are in this. I guess. I don't know. I still don't know the radius of that curve. I gotta get that.
Well, it looks, just to my eye, it looks much broader than 18 inches. So
does it look like 22 or something? Or?
The further one, I would put that at 28
don't,
or so.
Like that further one ends. The one in the brown.
Oh, that's a spur.
Yeah, it's just a spur that ends. The one that is below it and comes and continues. It continues onto that staging.
Maybe a 20.
20
inch.
Yeah.
And you're doing HO gauge, right?
Yeah, HO. Yeah.
Can you like click on that, and does it can you highlight it and it show you anything about it?
No, because it was just, John just gave me like a screenshot.
Okay.
He didn't.
He's not in the chat today, is he?
No, he's not in the chat today.
I haven't seen him in here.
And I've been having some people help me with different things, and it's like I hate asking them again. I hate asking people, more stuff about it. Can you do it?
Can
you let me know about it? what is the radius of that curve, and like overall, is the overall length the length that my layout is, or because it kind of looks bigger, and I don't know what each one of those grids represents. Like the bigger grids, I don't know. Is that a foot?
Yeah,
Is it?
I'm
You
sure
know,
I'm sure the smaller squares are 2-inch squares, and then the bigger squares
or a foot?
are 1 foot. Yeah, would that be right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah, but my layout's only 8 feet.
So how many feet is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it 10 feet?
10, I think.
Is that what the computer is saying?
Well, it doesn't say anything because I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
let's
just count the
presume
squares, right?
let's presume the little bitty squares are 2 inches and the big squares are 1 foot. Then
There's
is
like
the
10 feet.
overall
10 feet if you
yours is
count
only
the big
8.
square. Mine's is only 8.
So if you remove 2 feet from the right side of it,
Yeah. Yeah. So like I would have to move everything,
yeah, then you might have a problem. If he's built it in a 10-foot
Yeah.
footprint and you've only got 8 feet, you will probably need to reconsider a few things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like all the industries that he's showing, I'm probably not gonna do, Like there's 2 industries along that back wall, and that brown part is an industry. And then the forward part to the right is like a transload facility. So like I'm probably gonna do away with a good bit of industries on there. Instead of doing,
You're gonna have to change a bunch of stuff.
I might just do 2, just because it's just not, I don't think it's going to work out. Jack asked me how big the layout is. It's 8 foot. And at its narrowest part to the right, it's 20 inches. And at its widest part to the left, it's 33 inches. It's kind of like a taper, It's not square. It kind of tapers out to that 33 from 20.
So is this going to be one module?
Yeah, that's what it
on
is.
a bigger layout?
No, that's it.
This is all you got?
Just a little switch.
Yeah, you're gonna have to change some stuff.
Yeah, it's just a switching layout. Yeah.
It's hard to put very much. You're gonna have to be using small engines and like 40-foot cars, or you're not gonna get much movement in there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I got,
But if you're planning on making, doing bigger or being able to take it to somewhere where you can, like
oh no, I'm not taking
Remo
it.
or something like that,
No, I'm not taking it anywhere.
then
Yes.
you can do some different stuff. But
No, I'm not taking it nowhere. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, it's a shelf layout, basically. Shelf.
well, hey Dennis, how long is the
Time saver?
time saver? Thank you.
It's 8 feet. But the difference, of course, is that I made no attempt to come into the time saver from a 90-degree angle.
Right.
That's going to be his challenge, is if he wants the staging to come from a 90-degree angle, then that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Yeah.
And do you have any more room left or right in the actual space?
Like left is my front door, so I didn't want to put anything coming that way, at the at the right end, at the narrowest end is my front door.
And you've taken up all of the available trackage to the left.
Yeah, it goes to the wall.
To the wall.
Yeah, like that wall overall is probably about, I think it's 12 foot, or I think it's 12 foot. That wall that the layout is against is 12 foot something.
And of course, you probably already built it. That's what happens. We start building railroads. We build it and we go,
Yeah.
I think I could cut a hole through the wall right there.
Yeah.
And I could extend this another 10 feet into the other,
Yeah. No.
And then I could put an add-on on the back of the house and go into that.
Yeah.
because I literally on one of my track plans right now, I've got a hole cut through the wall going into the shop.
But you're not going to do that, are you?
If I get serious about doing it, it won't be for a lot later if I've proven to myself that I need to do it for operating purposes, I might, but I have no plans on doing that at the moment. No, it's just an option available to me in the future is the way I'm looking at it. Yeah.
So, Darren, the reason why is because I would like to leave stuff on that staging yard. If I had to take it, if I had to lift it up and lift it down to get in and out of the house, right, then I'd have to put stuff back on it and take stuff off, and that would be a pain. It's like I won't use it.
Yeah. Another idea. So how much room do you have to the right of the layout that you're not going to use? That you say, I just absolutely am not going to do this.
4 feet.
4 feet?
Yeah.
So an option would be to, if you feel like the 90-degree in is just too much and it's going to sacrifice the operational value of the 8-foot space you do have, because it ends up pushing all of your turnouts too far down to the right, is to only come off and on the railroad from the right, and then to do something similar to what Boomer has done, where he's got a cassette, which is a ship that you just plug in to the right side of the railroad, and then you can remove the whole thing and put it underneath the railroad when you're not operating.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because then you've got the entire 8-foot space to operate, and then all of your on and off stuff, because you could probably still operate it effectively without coming off and on. That's, the Time Saver did that, but all of my rolling stock had to stay on the track closest to me, just because the way it was designed. And what I found was it was the same game every time I played it. And so to me, it got a little bit boring pretty quick, because I had no way to come off and on the railroad with anything new unless I physically pulled it off and on. But I also kind of knew that I was going to plug it into this railroad as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's an idea. I could do away with that 90 and put it alongside the railroad, kind of maybe shorten it a little bit and just have a spur going into it.
Yeah.
And then just, move it when I need to move it. Yeah, it's an idea. Yeah, because I think this 90 is going to be like, I mean, it worked in any rail, but I think it's just not going to work.
But it looks good. The problem is you've got 2 feet further to the right that you just don't actually have,
right?
Unless you want to take it.
Yeah, it's no taking now.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do is move that staging yard off of the 90 and put it parallel at the right end,
Yeah, I'm not really seeing that, but I'm sure that it makes sense to you. Are you talking about like just doing a kind of like a crossover, putting that yard on what's already there, or are you?
Yeah, so like it would come off
adding to the front.
Adding to the front, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
removable. Adding to the
Okay.
front.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. It's an idea. I'll mess around with it today, probably. Do a car float. Everybody's doing car floats. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's doing car floats. I don't want to do a car float.
Well, up in your neck of the woods, car floats used to be common in real life.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've never seen one around me. But, like, I mean, up further, they do have them still, but yeah, not doing.
Yeah, Steve did that article in one of the railroad magazines about the car floats in San Francisco Bay. It was on the Santa Fe at the time. It was pretty interesting.
Steve
But he
Arnold.
could tell us more about it. Yeah, he could tell us more. Oh, there he is, right there.
Well, that's who he
He's
said.
talking about him.
He just said do a car float. I saw him.
Yeah, well, that's what he did on his N scale. He put a car float on there, but you never see it.
Where's his car
stuff
float?
sitting
I
on it.
didn't know he's got a car float on his N scale
I
layout.
didn't either.
Yeah, I think
he does.
I think when
But he's
Steve-
always got he's got all this crap sitting over there on the side.
we need to have Steve do a really close-up inspection of his N-scale layout so we see all of these things.
I think it's kind of given up on that N scale layout. It's kind of like a bastard job.
Red-headed stepchild.
It's
Yeah,
covered in crap.
It's there, but just stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we all have one of those.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bill, you did a little cool op session over there at Caboose Hobbies. That was pretty neat.
That was fun. Yeah, buddies with the guys down there. So went there this last Wednesday. We all went out to lunch. Sat around, shot the breeze. And then on Thursday nights they have op sessions, and all except the first Thursday of a month, it's open to the public. If anybody wants to go, guests can come. So I had some video down there. They had 3 guys running their trains, and then one of the other guys was acting as the conductor. And then I was just trying to stay out of their way as they were moving around the layout. It was really cool. 2-rail O scale equipment, ran nice. So you could see in the video that somebody really knows how to do weathering, and weathering quite well. So it just looked good all the way around.
So like, who takes care of
how
the
far is Caboose Hobbies from you?
It is about a 35-minute drive for me. So it's really not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Excuse me, I'm trying to get my phone plugged in again. This cable is just not giving me power to this iPhone. So I'm at like 7%, so I might drop. I got it. I'm charging a little bit, hence why I'm going this way, vertical, so I can see. But I'm in the house layout room. So this is the room that had the really funky paint colors. And I'll just kind of spin around a little bit. So I got everything painted in the room. I've got fluorescent lights,
looks good.
LEDs up now. So I get some good bright.
Cool.
I had
Nice
those I was going to use in the house in Virginia, and never got around to it. Let me adjust this. There we go. So I never got around to it, and took them out, and it took me like 1 hour to get all of the string up. I've got 4 of them connected on one, 2 of them connected on another, all tied in one light switch. Provides ample lighting in here, so I'm going to be good. The paint I did covered up the walls pretty good. There is some interesting things in this room for color that suddenly became visible once I had good lighting, and I'm making a video, and that is highlighted. Like there is some of the suspended ceiling grid. You can't see it here, but it's underneath where I'm at, and somebody tried to paint it purple. So, and when I just had the little light, I couldn't tell, couldn't see anything. It just looked dingy. Now bright light, it's purple. So I've got
Did no one tell you at our age we don't want good light?
Yeah,
That's not a good thing.
This is the only room in the house that has good light. So it highlights the sins of the previous owners. So I've got to paint the suspended ceiling, the metal tracking, which I've done that in the past. That's easy to do. Just a foam brush and some white enamel paint, and I'll get it looking good again. You know, little projects for later on. But right now, this room, changed out all of the electrical. You know, the outlets, the switches are all brand new. Everything's tied in. I've checked it with a tester. You know, I've got everything checks out good. So when I come back in August, we'll probably start building bench work in here so that my ON30 will come back to life. I've got some ideas in my head for what I want. So should be able to build a layout in here fairly quick. I'm guessing when I come back in August, by the time I leave in September, I'll probably have the bench work either done or close to being done in this particular. And that's including doing other stuff like out in the main garage. I still need to get power run. Got a whole bunch of things on my list to do. Still got a week and a few days here. I'm going to be doing some painting upstairs, doing some landscaping, doing some other things, maybe doing some stuff down here in the train room again. So I've got a lot of stuff on my plate, but everything is moving forward. So I'm a happy camper.
That's good.
Cool.
Well, good. Yeah.
See, all of my ON30 equipment is just sitting up here on the shelf. I got a bunch of stuff that's out in the garage yet for kits and other things O-scale related. Got my O-scale cars and engines that I still have over here in some boxes. Probably going to put in a couple of more shelves. I did that last night. I've got some lumber 1x12s that were left here. I've got a bunch. Probably put in a couple of more shelves so I can get the O-scale stuff out of the box and at least up. Yeah. Got some track I can just kind of put on there so I can rest the equipment, get them out of the boxes. So a few things to do yet over the next few days.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, good. Excuse me.
So let me ask you, like, is there, like, do you need to go back?
Oh, yeah, that's where I live. So, yeah.
Place. So you live there too.
So what I'm doing, you know, again, I come back to the States twice a year is what my plan is, because in March, youngest birthday, so come back, spend time with him, spend time here, see my older kids, you know, friends down at Caboose Stop Hobbies. Come back in like August. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Come back in August into September. Again, youngest goes to college. You know, that'll happen for the next few years. Get him moved in. Older kids have birthdays in September, and then I can do stuff around the house. Apparently for taxes, which I found out this year, is that if you spend more than like 330 or 320 days abroad, it does something funky with your taxes. So I'm planning on spending like about 290 days abroad per year, you know, then come have a couple of months, maybe 3 months in the States, you know, so I'm enjoying it. You know, I've got a nice house there. The work back has been done. So when I get back, you know, I'm going to be able to have another nice outdoor living area that's completed out behind the house. Keep the dogs and the chickens and ducks out, geese out. You know, I can go out and sit and relax. And out in the front, the plants are all doing well. They got planted. Getting pictures of those sent to me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going back. It'll be warm there. It's in the like 90s, 98 degrees yesterday. And it'll be in the 90s for like the rest of the summer.
So Steve wants to know, will you be able to go to the Harrisburg ON30 meet in June? I'm going to guess no.
No, I didn't even know there was one. But yeah, if it would be in August, I would. But yeah, I won't be able to. And Harrisburg wasn't that far away when I lived in Virginia. It's a little bit far away now when I'm in Iowa.
Bernard wants Bernard says, are you going to work for Carell?
No.
Yeah.
Everybody else does. No, I go and I drink their coffee and sit and shoot the breeze. And, you know, I help Carol, you know, pay her taxes with stuff that I buy. I've only spent, I've been good this time. This trip back, I think I've only spent like $50 there. So,
Yeah, she probably misses you.
now she gets enough other people like
Yeah,
Bernard.
she gets plenty of people.
Everybody else does too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good group of people. I always say it, you know, and I'd get no pay or anything. But, you know, if you're ever in Iowa, you got to stop there. It's one of those old time hobby shops. You can just go in and you're going to lose yourself. Your wallet is definitely going to be less heavy by the time you leave, because you're going to find something there that is unusual or interesting or that you need. It's just one of those places that's a, you know, little gold mine. You just got to dig and find stuff.
Yeah, and there's not many of those left.
No.
What are you doing, Dennis?
Well,
I know you had your premiere the other night.
I've been doing a couple different things. I'll go ahead and show where I'm at on the build.
Ooh, nice.
That's looking good.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Really good.
Got a lot of signs on that thing.
Yeah, that's one of those things that.
What is
Did I overdo it? Maybe.
No.
What are all those signs there?
That looks great.
Do what?
What are all the signs on the brick of that building?
Well, like this is an International Harvester, Purina Chow. This is something hen. It's chicken feed. I can't remember what that is, and I can't read it. And then you got a fertilizer sign.
So it's all pertaining to. So what's this place going to be?
It's a mill feed store.
Oh, it's a feed store. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a grain mill feed, that kind of thing. Which you could argue maybe it doesn't belong on my railroad. I'm going to find some way to put it on here, but that's
why not? It's a cool building.
This wall,
and
then this wall right here really is all I've got for the superstructure.
Are you going to do any interior on that?
No, not really. Other than what's already there, there's a few places that you can kind of look into it, but I didn't go to any extra things. But this is
it's a good thing you didn't use solid wood to build this around. You wouldn't be able to lift it.
Right. Well, you know, it's a kit. It's not a scratch build by any stretch of the imagination. But I've been doing that. I hope that I can get it finished in the next 2 weekends. I hope. It's just taken a while, not necessarily because of the kit, but because of my schedule. I think I started it in February. I can't remember, like mid-February. And I think I've had 4 full weekends that I have not been home to do any kind of work on it at all. So that's kind of why it's taken me so long. But aside from working on that, I have been play testing train waybills. It's kind of a brand new operating car card and waybill system. And I've been enjoying that. I would say I'm still kind of in the decision-making thing of whether or not I will continue to use it or not. I've enjoyed it. I would say it's hard to categorize because I can't really explain how it works. I've never used car cards and waybills before, so I can't say how close it actually is to car cards and waybills. If it's like that, you know, exactly, or if it's nothing like it, I really don't know. There's advantages that it has over the JMRI Operations Pro, and there's other things that you could argue are not as good as JMRI, but I've been enjoying it. I think if he makes certain changes to it in the future, I think it would be very viable, especially for a medium to small layout. I could see where this would really kind of bring the layout to life as far as operations go.
What is this system?
It's called Train Waybills. Let me make sure Train Waybills. And it's a web-based, it's a browser-based thing.
Right.
Is it better than Ops Pro? I can't say it's better. It's different. It's probably as much different from JMRI Ops Pro to actual physical car card bills in the same way. Because you're not dealing with lists. You're dealing literally with a car card on you're looking at your phone or your iPad. You got your throttle in this hand, and then you're going to have something that is connected to the internet. That I would say that's one thing that might be a no-go for some people, right? And then you're using it just like you would cars and waybills. And you have different, like on the car card, I'm going to either drop it, set it, just like you would if you've got all of your car cards in your hand that you're trained, and you're going to put them in the different boxes on your fascia. This just keeps track of everything in the system on your phone. So I presume that it's a lot like car cards and waybills.
Well, it's nice because you don't have all those car cards and all the slots that I don't particularly care for.
Yeah. Again, I wish I had a background in car cards and waybills so I would have some reference to go, oh yeah, this is much better, or go, well, there's this and there's that. I'm sure there's going to be advantages and disadvantages, and it's just like anything. Some people will go, oh yeah, this is perfect for me, and there will be other people who go, there's no way in hell I would ever do that. For whatever reasons, right? Different people engage with different things for whatever reason. I'll say the biggest issue I have with it is, just to be blunt, it's going to be the cost. So for my layout, which I'm going to have, right now I've got 10 locations. And so in order to operate with the system, you're going to have those 10 locations, and then however many tracks available at each of those locations. That's all programmable into the system, just like Ops Pro is. It's not as confining, but you still have to do it in order to run. I think it's $7.99 a month for up to 10 locations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you have more than 10 locations, and I think I'm going to have about 15 eventually when I get the whole layout built, depending on how I configure it.
You're talking rail-served industries locations.
Well, so just like an Ops Pro, you have a location, a town. You could swap the name town for a location, or a large industry with multiple tracks. It's kind of variable that way. But like Maroon Creek is a location, and I've got, I think, 5 different spur tracks in Maroon Creek. So if you take Maroon Creek as a location in this system, you're allowed 10, and then that's going to cost you $7 a month to access the program. If you're a larger than 10, the next thing is $20 a month. And so that's where I'm at. I'm like, I like it. I like it a lot. I do. But I'm probably not going to pay $20 a month to operate my own railroad. Right? It doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
When I could do Operations Pro for free, the trade-off is Operations Pro is not what I would call user-friendly. You're going to do battle with it for a while before you figure it out. Where this, it's simple. It is I will give it all the props in the world. It took me less than 2 hours to configure my entire railroad, including all the waybills, all of the cars. I was done in about 2 hours and could operate. I didn't operate that night because I was in Oklahoma City. I did it all, not even in my layout. You know, that's how simple it was. And then actually doing it, coming in with my throttle, with my iPad. I've had now 5 operating sessions, super simple to do, enjoyable. I like it. And again, it's the whole cost thing that bothers me the most about it. There is a free version. It's worthless. Nobody will make use of the free version because you're allowed 3 locations and like only 3 tracks at a locations. It's like you would use it just long enough to go, I might like this, but I'm going to have to pay a little bit of money to find out if I really like it. But to me, that's if I could purchase an app and then have the app kind of like Empire Express is for track planning, you know, a one-time payment of, I mean, I would be willing to pay up to $50, you know, maybe even more if there was a free trial period and then a one-time purchase, and then maybe if there's updates later on, paying for the updates. But I don't see paying $20 a month to operate my railroad.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to operate my railroad for free anytime.
But you're willing to pay $5.
I might be willing to pay $5. Yeah.
I'm with Heath. I think if I was going to do way bills and car cards and stuff, I'd do the old school physical cards.
Yeah.
I think to me that's like running your layout with your engine with the throttle instead of the computer. You know, that's hands on, and that's to me is the whole reason to do it in the first place. You know, for me, but there again, you know, it's a hobby and there's so many different aspects to the hobby. So everybody's different on what they like to do. But I guess if you're a computer nerd, you know, the computer stuff is more your liking. But yeah, I wouldn't pay a monthly fee for something like that.
Well, and I would just say, you know, again, I can't speak about physical car cards and waybills because I've never done it, but you know, the management of these waybills in the system is so simple. You can go in and edit any waybill any way you want, and then you can, again, the ease of creating the waybill is super simple. So if you want 200 waybills for 50 cars, simple. Right. You know, I mean, it's a nice system. I really like it. I think there'll be some growing pains with it. If the chances of it becoming very successful, I think will depend on the modeler's pocketbook more than anything else. And because some people might be absolutely like a club. I could see a club making use of this because the ease of controlling the car cards and the waybills and not having to keep up with something that gets lost, destroyed, someone knocking stuff off, dropping it on the floor and going, you know, waybills falling out of the car cards. That's not going to happen with this system. So I could see a club where it's not your money, right? You're paying your dues anyway to the club. And then the club is paying the $20 a month. I could see it being very good for a club. I think it will shine there, and I think it will shine for someone that's willing to pay $7 or $8 a month. Who we all pay $7 or $8 a month on something, probably, right? I spend that much on coffee every day, so I could rationalize, you know, that kind of thing, you know, a once a month thing. I just don't know that I could do it for $20 a month. Do I spend $20 a month on coffee? Probably. You know, I'll make that decision when I get there. But I don't think I will.
Why can't you just use the version you're using for $5? Will you?
Because I'm going to have more than 10 locations.
Oh. Can you just like combine locations?
Not really, because the computer recognizes when you arrive at a location, right? You go into ops mode, and then you visit whatever town you're going to. You're going to press the town.
Mm-hmm.
And then in ops mode, it's going to tell you all of the work that needs to be done in that town. And then you could either choose to do it or not choose to do it. That is definitely one big difference between it and JMRI Ops. JMRI Ops Pro tells you what you need to do. And if you don't do it, the system is like, there is no real capacity to do something different than what the program tells you to do. With this, you're telling the program what you did. There's a lot more freedom in how you operate, which I believe is also true of car cards and waybills. You can make a decision, I'm not going to pick that up. It makes more sense to pick it up on my way back by or whatever. With Ops Pro, you kind of have to do what the computer tells you to do. Otherwise, the computer is going to process regardless of whether you did it or not. This, you're telling it what you just did.
Yeah, I never did an ops session, so I don't know what's involved in.
Ops is what makes the hobby enjoyable beyond the modeling aspect. At least for me, I've had 3 railroads, give or take. I guess you could maybe say 4 if I'm counting this one. It's not it's not complete. But I've had track work completed on 3 different things, and all three of them were shelf railroads, so to speak, and boring pretty quick because it was the same thing every time I picked up a throttle. I did A, B, and C, and A, B, and C. Maybe I could do C, B, and A, or B, C, and A, but there was no variety in what I did. Operations change that in a way that especially with this car card and waybill, I have no idea what's going to take place next. Even with JMRI Ops, you push build on the train, and then you get your list, and you can go. You already know what's going to happen. With this, you really don't know what happened until you arrive at the location. It's kind of fun that way.
You has an idea there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what ops are, Roy, but I never did them. I mean, what's the difference? It's like you're moving a car from here to there and picking this up, and it's like, I don't know. I don't.
It's a matter of purpose. If you have no purpose in what you're doing, it's willy-nilly, and there's no challenge involved. If
I'm okay with that.
Depending on what I'm dropping off out here in Maroon Creek, how I go about doing it changes a little bit depending on what cars are on the train.
I gotta know.
So therefore, there's variety.
Life. I don't need them for my railroad too.
And like I said earlier, it just depends who you are and what you get out of the hobby.
Yeah.
It's like when I went to see Dennis and I operated the time saver, and I'd never done operations before at all. I was more like Jerry, just do what I want to do. But having the time saver and then having specific cars that you had to put in specific locations made it a challenge, and that became a lot of fun to do because you had to use your head, especially on the time saver. It's meant to be a switch puzzle. So you really had to think ahead, because some places you got a car and a locomotive, some places only hold the locomotive or only hold the car. You can't hold both in there. but you got to switch. So it made it a lot of fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed doing
Now
that.
imagine that on 9 different locations,
Yeah.
right? I get
Doing
to
that everywhere you
leave
go.
this location, go to another location. Before I leave this location, I might need to stack my cars in the train in the consist in a certain way to make my switching
next
to the
one
next
easier.
location easier. Or maybe I don't.
Well, especially if you have
maybe I'll just leave them like they are and figure it out when I get there.
Well,
Yeah.
especially if you have a point facing location you have to drop at, you know, you have to think about how you're going to get the car on the right side of the locomotive to get it where it needs to go. So yeah, it can be a lot of fun, and I can see operations with a group of people like Mark does, or like a lot of people do. I can see that being a lot of fun to do. If you've got a big enough layout to have a bunch of people like you do, Dennis, you could handle 4 or 5 people in there easily.
I think I could easily handle 4 people with no problems. I think I could find something to do for 4 people.
Yeah.
And I could find myself driving out there for it too.
Yeah, ops is fun. Like on my HO scale switching layout, even I want to get involved in like some sort of a waybill system in the future. But for my layout, I'll do kind of like what you guys are talking about is I'll set a car somewhere. And, you know, I've got all kinds of other things going on in the layout. And then it's like, how do I get that car to this spot on an industry? And there's blocking cars, there's different moves that you've got to make. You've got to do maybe some runarounds. It's thought to even get like a single car to a single industry on with my layout with so many switches in different ways, you know, it can be 15, 20 minutes of operations to get that car where it's supposed to be. And it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, excuse me, it gives you a purpose for being there and moving trains in the first place. That was the whole idea behind railroads, was to get product from here to there, you know, wherever it was going. And in doing that, you've got to switch cars. So that's the whole point of a railroad, whether it's a real one or a model. Of course, there's a lot more in a model railroading than just switching cars. So you got that too.
I think Deep Run Mike is using that system that you're using, Dennis.
Who?
Deep Run Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he didn't do the math on location limits. That's a cost problem. Yeah, for an individual, I could see that's a little steep, you know, for doing something like that. But for like you said, Dennis, for a club, I could see how that would be simple.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand.
And really be a good idea for a club.
That statement.
Well, I guess you didn't factor in all the locations and the limits to the location.
I guess if he's talking about the program specifically, yeah, it's like he gave everyone that was on the Second Section podcast last Thursday a free 2 weeks subscription to the $8 a month version, which is the 10 location limit.
Oh, so this guy was on
10 locations.
This guy was on Second Section podcast.
Yeah, last Thursday's show, he made it available to the public that night. I might actually be the very first person who subscribed to it. I don't know, because I was on there before the end of the program that Thursday night, and by 9 o'clock the next morning, I had my whole system in the program.
Yeah, it sounds to me by charging a monthly fee, he was aiming at either clubs or operators like you or Mark that would have big operating sessions, and then I could see it becoming feasible.
Yeah. Another thing that I don't like about it is, like, so if Claude were to come to my railroad and want to operate my railroad, he would have to create an account in Train Waybills and become a user. He could sign up for the free program and not have to pay a dime, but in order to operate my railroad, he has to have an account. I can't have, I say I can't. I could create, say, 5 different accounts on 5 different email addresses or whatever, just for myself, and have one available for him. But he's going to have his own device, either a cell phone, a smartphone, or an iPad or something to be able to access my layout. And then I send an invite, and then he would go into his account on Train Waybills, find the invite, hit.
That ain't happening.
Then he gets my layout. So
I definitely don't like that aspect.
I would suspect anyone over the age of 50
Well,
will go.
You should give this dude some
For me.
feedback. You should give this guy some feedback. You should give this.
I will. Again, if I were a club.
Yeah, but you're not a club.
I know, but again, it's he's doing something for the hobby, right?
I know, but maybe
he's providing something great for the hobby, and hopefully it will turn into something better than it is now. And I think if I were a hobby, I would absolutely, or a club, I would absolutely be looking at this.
Well, maybe
especially if you're wanting to bring new people into the hobby, a younger base that's already tech savvy.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's our time, guys. Yeah,
So-
we got to talk about this more.
Yeah, you should have more.
Yeah, we
people.
can have a whole show just on operations and things like this for sure. I think I will still have it, right? Because I've got one more week. I think I should still have it next weekend. If you want me to pull it up and show a little bit of it, I can next weekend if you want.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Everybody
we
have
got to get out of here. We're over time, guys.
It's terrible.
Thanks for being here. Hopefully
ya.
Steve will be back next week. And Bill, will you be here next week?
Yes, I will be here next week.
Okay, good deal. Well, everybody take care. Have a great rest of your weekend and a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, all.
Bye-bye.
See you guys later.